Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here, and this is how to use Villager. So Villager is one of the more unorthodox characters in the game and kind of plays like no one else. So it's really awesome, but it also requires a little more understanding of the game to know how to use Villager, because just a lot of things are crazy on him. So let's start off with the neutral A combo that you're pretty much just going to send out some boxing punches, and the third hit is going to send them away really fast. So it is a pretty good neutral to have. On top of that, we have the down tilt. The down tilt is going to be one of your more reliable moves of knocking your opponent in the air. It has a decent amount of speed, and because your down smash doesn't send them anywhere with knockback, you're going to have to want to rely on that as well as your up tilt. Your up tilt hits twice, and the second hit has a significant knockback as well. So if you can kind of combo into it and get your opponent stuck into the down tilt, it's going to be really solid. The forward tilt is actually pretty cool. You just send out an umbrella, and it comes out pretty fast and just knocks your opponent back in decent ways. Looking at your special moves, Villager has Pocket. Pocket takes any projectile and stores it. You can use B to bring it back and then use it against your opponent. So another awesome thing to note about Pocket is that it does have iframes, that you are invincible when flashing when you're using it, so you can use it to absorb the move or even dodge an opponent's move if you feel that they're going to try to throw a mix-up at you. That if they throw a projectile and try to come in, you can pretty much use Pocket to dodge both of those if you time it very well. After that, we have the tree. Let me get the guy off of it. So every time you use B down, something different happens. The first time you plant a seed, the second time you water it, and then after that you can swing the axe twice at the tree that grows and do huge amounts of damage to your opponent. Also, the tree does do damage when sprouting up, so you can use that to potentially KO opponents as well. But as you can see, the tree is very slow and hard to set up. So generally what I'll do is I'll just throw out a tree and just kind of have it there to block projectiles and kind of leave your opponent spaced. They'll have to try to find a way around it, and then you could use that to try to zone them off with it as well. And also the tree only lasts for 15 seconds. So in that time, you're going to be able to use your axe, not on just the tree, but you can use it on opponents as well, and you can use it as an aerial. So it's a significantly hard-hitting move that can set up into some combos, just because you have that axe ready and you can swing hard for your opponent. Your side special is your Lloyd Rocket. Your Lloyd Rocket is a really good thing just to throw out and have an annoying spammable projectile. If you hold B, you will ride on it and do more damage as well as travel across the stage on it, so you can use it for recovery. However, it will put you into a free fall, so you have to decide whether or not to use that or your recovery, your up B, which is just balloons. So by mashing B, you're able to get a very significant amount of distance on your balloons, and you can use it to really just kind of recover from anything. So if you say you're really far off the ledge, you're off screen right now, and you can just safely float back on with a lot more to spare. So Villager is going to be a very hard character to keep off the stage, because with your rocket, you can also come from a decent distance, and if I threw that out at a higher time, you have great horizontal and vertical recovery on Villager. Alright, let's look at the smash moves. Villager's smashes are some of the strangest in the game, that your down smash doesn't knock your opponent back, it just roots them and does a small amount of damage, and it has a bit of wind up even on a no charge, so it's going to be a very tricky move to use. Your side smash, you just drop a bowling ball and it does incredible amounts of damage and knockback, but it has almost no range, so you're really going to have to try to get your opponent to charge in on you and just set it up against them while they're in some kind of hit stun. Another cool thing about it is that you can drop it off the ledge. Now if an opponent is coming in and you can hit them right before they hit the ledge, you can use it to secure an easy KO on your opponent. If you plant your tree near the edge, you can actually chop it off and it will fall down. And the same happens for your dash as well, that your dash is it has a lot of projectile qualities, so you can throw it off the edge and you can use it to gain a bit of distance. Now the main problem about your dash, however, is that it does leave you very vulnerable. There is a lot of recovery duration from the dash, even though you can follow it up pretty fast. So if you can get a dash into a tilt or a hit like that, you can actually turn it into some really cool things. So we also forgot to mention the up smash. The up smash charges some fireworks for a bit and then knocks your opponent in the air with them, and it's kind of like Pikachu's down smash. It does a lot of smaller hits and then eventually deals a good amount of knockback. Now, Villager's aerials are really interesting because he essentially has the same up air and down air, as well as forward air and back air, that he just sends out some slingshot attacks or turnips. Now, the turnips do have good amount of spacing and come out really fast with good hitboxes. Now, and the down turnips can also be used to help set up like some short hop combos. Not that well, of course, because it's just a sandbag. and if you have 3 turnips out, it does have a meteor smash effect. So that could be really good if you sweet spot it, but it's not completely reliable. Your main source is going to be coming from your slingshot. Your slingshot, you're going to want to short hop and try to space on your opponent. Now, the problem about the slingshot is you can't just full hop or short hop and use it immediately. You have to kind of delay and then use that to get in on your opponent. Also, the slingshot is very interesting because the closer you are, the more knockback it has, but the further you are, the less knockback it has. So you're going to have to use this to either kind of keep your opponent spaced and try to get damage on them, or use it to knock them off the edge. The neutral air for Villager is also really strong. It comes out incredibly fast, you can use it really close to the ground, and you can just use it to get your opponent in the air again. You can neutral air into a slingshot or slingshot into a neutral air, and try to follow that with many other ways of trying to keep your opponent down. So a lot of combos are pretty much going to work off Villager in the air or trying to get damage with his interesting kit. So let's go and watch how some combos can unfold with Villager. Now the trick to using Villager is getting some low damage on. Now Villager doesn't have like a lot of raw combos. It's basically going to be a lot of short hops and dashes to try to set up. I also like getting his tree going just because it does provide a couple of options that if you somehow manage to hit them with the tree, it could be really well. It also just provides some utility for blocking attacks or giving your axe to swing around at your opponent. And if it does drop the item, it's good to pocket and bounce off your opponent a couple times. So other things I've been looking to do is just try to set up my Lloyd Rocket or just try to get my opponent some damage in any way that, you know, short hops into aerials are a good way, trying to space out, can just get a little bit of damage and maybe set up some comboing potential with the dashes. Now, in this battle, I try to just kind of set up my tree early. It does its work. I get a Lloyd Rocket, and I try to really mix it up because the opponent can't really tell what's happening if a rocket and a tree are coming at them, and then I'm covering aerial options as well, depending on how they handle it. So I just keep trying to run around, dash, get damage, throw out the rocket, and when they start getting at a good, healthy level, that's when you can start really knocking them back with your aerials. So I also try to land some grabs to help get them off stage, and right here is, you know, I get that dash set up, and now I can start hitting them with aerials. And from there, you can really try to do that knockback. Now, unfortunately, Pit is just absurd with recovery, so it didn't go too well. But that leads us to our next point about what makes Villager so good. Once you finally get some damage on them, he's all about gimping. And gimping is when you effectively take out an opponent at very low health by just knocking them off the stage and removing their recovery. If we watch that again, you know, you can see where the knockback and the disruption from the aerials really comes in. That Mario's at really low health. I throw my dash off the edge, and then just from a couple of aerials, he doesn't have enough to get back on. And that's pretty much all that Villager is going to be about. That once you just really want to play the most hateful edge game possible, that you can throw to get them off the edge, that you can try to smash to get them off the edge, but you need that initial damage to be there. And then from there, you know, you just throw out your side A's, or your forward airs, and your neutral airs, and you can just keep making it work from there. And like, I just have a nice little montage going of, you know, setting up with dashes, forward tilts, and then you just do some filthy things to where they can't recover at all. And here we go, just a couple more little things that, you know, setting up the dash, getting even 2 neutral airs that time. It's really hard to come back from that. And it just kind of shows that that's how you really want to play Villager, that you just have to throw them off the edge, you have to set up something, and then once you can really just keep them away, you have the safest recovery of getting back. Also, this is the KO of the day right here. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys enjoyed the Villager guide.